Are you struggling with the 5.2/5.3 Abyss? Do you need some teams to give you some inspiration and or some general advice on how to clear? Well, that is exactly what this video is for. Let me give you 4 teams, how and why they are good in this Abyss. Let's get right into it. The first half, I have a quote hyper carry Neuvillette team. You might be wondering, isn't there a highly hydro resistant enemy on the first half? Yes, but also no. Both Kaza with VV and Zhongli with his shield shred hydro resistance, and it makes it low enough to where the consecrated beast has low enough resistance where Neuvillette is still doing good damage. He is absolutely perfect for chamber 2 first half. We have Zhongli for the golden wolf lord. Very basic builds on them. Zhongli is actually on the beginner pole arm. He's normally on fab, but apparently somebody took it. And as for second half, I'm running a Raiden hyper bloom team, and what this team does, I had them for a very specific reason. This is good single target damage, but it also has a lot of elemental application. Why is that important? On chamber 2 this enemy here is resistant to all attacks for a brief period unless you use Night Soul aligned attacks or hit it with a bunch of elemental damage. Now, how am I able to do this without the Night Soul character? Xingqiu, Yelan, Nahida, and Raiden, these two primarily have very high elemental attacks. Yelan shoots 3, Xingqiu 2, 3, and 5, which allows us to break through the shield and weaken the enemy quite easily. As for second half, I do have a bow character, so these teams are absolutely perfect. For the second team, I have Noelle, Farina, Nahida, and Kuki. I'm running a Hyperbloom core with Farina to give Noelle some good damage. They play off each other well. Hyperbloom to burn through the heavy single target enemies. Farina for second half and Noelle for chamber 3. I ignore any and all resistances because most of my damage is coming from Dendro. Then the second half, Chevreuse, Arlecchino, Fischl, and Xiangling. I could have run Bennett instead of Xiangling. I wanted to try not having Bennett. I actually don't have my Chevreuse leveled up, so I don't even have that much healing anyway. I kind of wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge, and it kind of evens out because I might have better artifacts than some people, but if my talents aren't as good, I'm still not doing as much in that regard, so it kind of balances out. I went for the Overload team, chamber 2, probably the hardest chamber. Fischl, Xiangling all have great elemental hits, and I was able to break it just fine. As well, I have Fischl for chamber 3 for the Aeon Drake. Overall, these are some very solid teams, but you might notice that I don't have any Natlin characters leveled up. And that is, I only have 2. I wanted to give some options for people who might not have the best Natlin characters or might have to use them on the other half, allowing you to still clear chamber 2. I hope you learned something. I hope you maybe found a new team that you might like, might enjoy. Let's get right into the showcase. This is a pretty standard Neuvillette team. You aren't able to get your Hydra Swirl or your Petra, but honestly, it doesn't matter because look at Neuvillette. He's doing insane damage here. Right? He's just going to shred anything anyway without his stacks, Farina buffing him, whatever. The fact that he has such good AoE just makes, like, look, he's just cleaving everything. And like I said earlier, the Hydra resistant enemies doesn't matter as much when you have 2 forms of resistance shred. He's still doing, 20k ticks. It's not that much of a decrease in his damage. It's still good. I love riding Hyperbloom, and I'm pretty sure Nahida's on the prototype Amber just to get that little bit of healing I might need, and they just get absolutely shredded here. Primogy Vishap, some of these bosses feel so squishy. I don't know if it's the teams I'm using or what, and I'm just getting knocked back, and I use Raiden's burst to block the big burst of damage. Nobody takes it. It's just really consistent damage, and you see how I'm spawning like 4 cores and I'm activating all of them. It's better to spawn more, have some of them not trigger, than to spawn too little. Farina here, honestly, I kind of just let her summons do all the work and knock everything down. She's like amazing for this part. Neuvillette just doing Neuvillette things, just shredding. It just makes it an absolute cakewalk. And like I said, my Zhongli is on beginner's full arm, so I'm not getting any energy from him.
Settle down.
I honestly probably should have just stayed on Nahida and not used anything because Raiden's not triggering her skill right here. Stayed on Nahida, get the extra elemental hits, but it still burns it really fast. That is exactly why I chose this team here. Typical Hyper Bloom stuff. I love this team. It's probably my favorite Hyper Bloom team. And I didn't realize this, but look at the damage I'm doing in comparison to before. I'm doing like half the damage. Apparently this enemy is resistant to like all types of damage. I don't know the resistance, but I'm still absolutely shredding it while doing like 50% of my normal damage. Just absolutely shredding it. It doesn't matter. I love this team so much. And I show this again just to prove that this team is consistently good at breaking. I use Raiden for the extra elemental hits, maybe make it go a little bit faster, and there we go. It's too good. I hate the Wolf Lord. I had missed the skill, whatever. But look at Neuvillette able to hit him in the air. I kind of missed a little bit the first time. The hitbox is so big on Neuvillette and the Wolf Lord, you just get it free. Here we see strongly on the beginner, and I messed up and I had to double back to this one because I didn't break it all the way. But still, I just have so much time. It doesn't matter.
The tides beckon.
Neuvillette's healing. Look at that. It doesn't matter. I love fighting the Drake. I don't know why, because it feels like such a tanky enemy sometimes, but then I just destroy it so fast with this thing. Like, I didn't have that much time, but I'm still just absolutely destroying it. And look at that. It just clears. It just clears. Furina again on this half, just perfect here. I should have probably spun here in the beginning, but it's fine. Noelle making that AoE just that much better. I wish my summons went to the other side, but they just completely ignored the one. Noelle Beyblade here just absolutely destroys. I love the fact that there's AoE. I can use this perfectly. Everything's just done. Wanted to lunge onto the other one, but it just auto-aimed. And like I said, Hyper Bloom is so good against these because they're not the Dendro resistant ones. I wanted a Beyblade, I didn't hold it apparently, and I'm just annihilating them. Like even my Nahida's doing good damage because of the Furina buffs, and they just get destroyed.
Out of my way! Stand with me! Leave it up to me. Committed to memory.
Like I said, I don't have my Chevreuse talents leveled up, so I'm not even getting as much healing as I should, but Fischl heals a little bit. So, I mean, and Arlie has damage resist and self-heal, so this team is just, I love it. I love Chevreuse. Just destroying, and it doesn't matter if my Fischl or my Xiangling are getting the overload procs. There's on stringless, and Xiangling has good EM anyway. Plus they buffed it, I'm pretty sure this patch, so it's just doing that much more damage. Nice little chunk. Same thing as last time, just let Furina do her thing. You can take your time and use another Hydro character to break it down, but Furina's just, she's just so good here. One thing, my Noelle just didn't have a lot of energy recharge, so I constantly had to use my Favs and swap into her and just catch the particles, or else she'd never have her burst. I needed a lot more energy recharge than typical stuff.
Our bond is strong.
Overload teen against his boss, the Chevreuse. I think it's her C2, which gives her more shots. It helps just break everything. I didn't do some of my rotations good, so my Arlie didn't have full bond of life, but it's fine. Here, I have a lot. Still just shredding Chevreuse with her resistance shred, and then Xiangling with hers as well. So double shred, and it's just that easy. Full forward, it's kind of like the Hyper Bloom just makes it so easy. It just auto tracks and it hits. It could be anywhere the Hyper Bloom's gonna hit. As long as Farina can hit it, I'll have Hyper Blooms and I can run to them on the floor. Look, it's just perfect.
Our bond is strong.
Noelle is here for one reason and one reason only, and this is it. And typical Hyper Bloom stuff. I don't think I even have Noelle's burst because I used it on the summons, but it's fine. I just absolutely shred either way.
I'll settle this.
And this boss stands no chance. Like I said, with the Hyper Bloom team, it has a lot of health, but I love just shredding it. I love it.
Transfixed. You asked for it. Drop your weapons.
It gets melted. Farm Changeling burst, pop it, and then a boom. Look at that. Changeling's doing almost 20k ticks, which is pretty solid for not vaping. And it's just dead. It's just dead. These teams are amazing. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.